My colleagues Alix and Guy Johnson caught up with Vladimir Rozanovich, Lenovo's president of North America, as part of CES. They asked about how that company is navigating new product launches with the supply chain crunch.
What we're seeing is things like, shipping by freight is about 5x higher this year than it was last year, 2x higher on air freight costs. So we're starting to do things like making sure the boxes are smaller, lighter weight, making sure that we're, to some of our large customers, we're actually shipping in multi-pack boxes to reduce that footprint and that weight, and especially the space that it takes to ship some of these devices in. So that is absolutely something that we're looking at. Now, it's true. One of the things that you do is, in order to make sure you're innovating, we spent over $2 billion in R&D to make sure that we are innovating products that customers want. And one of the things we're hearing from customers is they want a more sustainable product for their corporations, for their enterprises, and even for their home use and small business use.
Well, let's talk about home use. What are you seeing in terms of the trends in terms of usage right now, particularly for those corporate products? A lot of people watching this are going to be sitting at home. They're still going to be working from home as a result of Omicron. They're still going to be using virtual meetings. They're still going to be using Zoom. They're still going to be using Teams. How does this new product fit into that landscape? And how does it evolve with that landscape? There's a lot of conversations around what is going to be happening with Meta, particularly in the corporate landscape. How is this new product going to fit into that landscape?
Yeah, guys. So there's a couple of things we've done. Number one is, with this particular Z series notebook, we worked with AMD as a partner to make sure we're developing a product through their CPU that delivers the highest and most realistic audio qualities, for Teams usage, for Zoom usage, and really to create an environment where you're hybridly there. We've seen the dynamics change over the last 18 months, 2 years. Work remote is now turning into hybrid work. It's an area of the market where the more you could actually create a better virtual experience for employees or consumers, that's really some of the trends that are driving the industry today.
Vlad, what is it like to get your hands on chips and stuff? Like, how are you dealing with the shortages that everyone's kind of having to deal with right now? I know you mentioned sort of making packaging lighter, so you have a lower footprint, and that helps. What about chips?
Yeah, Alex, obviously, we've seen supply chain issues now for well over a year. But being the #1 PC manufacturer in the world, it actually gives us a lot of clout. We made massive investments when it came to buying products early, whether it was chips, memory, drives, panels. Those were all things that we made early investments on. And it's one of the things that I think has kept Lenovo up front as the #1 PC manufacturer. The other thing we've done is we've leveraged all of our worldwide manufacturing locations. So operating in over 180 global markets and manufacturing it in about 10 different countries has allowed us to actually spread out some of those areas where we could actually procure and build product closer to the customer. That actually reduces some of that shipping time that you were talking about.